Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have unfortunately had my mic muted in OBS this whole time. I apologize for that. But yes, hello and welcome to
Go, go, go.
tonight's race here, starting off in qualifying right now. But yeah, I am your host here, Fox, and I will be commentating for tonight's race. Hopefully it's a good one. So, first out onto the track is going to be, I believe, Chen. I could be wrong. Yes, it is indeed Chen with Light Guy right behind him. So Chen obviously wanting to get out early into that clean air. Behind him is going to be Zakharov, and yeah, that'll be your current top three. Oh, it looks like Light Guy's getting really up close to Chen. He's telling him, get a move on, come on. But yeah, Chen obviously not quite. Yeah, I think he's going to let him through here. We'll have to see. If you're wondering for why the colors are red, white, or silver, red represents, I believe, less than 10 races with Zealous Racing, and silver is between 10 and 30, and so white is if you have more than 30 races. So it's basically just a to kind of recognize those who have been with us for a long time, doing a lot of races with us. So other than that, currently drivers will be starting their laps soon here. Like letting Zakharov through, and we'll be bunching up here towards the end of the lap and getting ready to start their first qualifying rounds. So actually, a correction, Elliot Watts was the first one on track, but the first one in that pack behind him was Chen. So apologies for the misinformation there. But yeah, Watts is currently will be first to set his lap, and then Chen is behind him. Quite a ways back, actually. I'm surprised as to Watts got out so quickly compared to the others. But yeah, Chen looking really... Oh, Zakharov, that's probably a lap invalidation from the Ukrainian driver. A little bit too wide there on exit. It happens. I mean, this track is really hard to drive, you know. It requires a lot of precision and accuracy in the way you do especially the steering inputs, because on one hand, if you turn too much, the car... Oh, Chen is off. Chen made... I'm certain he's gone back to pits now. He's made a bit of a mistake, I assume, and he's decided to come back to pits and give it another try. But yeah, on board now with Zakharov, and I'm pretty sure has invalidated his lap, but he's going to use this lap as to get his tires nice and warm, and then next lap he'll give it a second go. No driver has yet posted a lap yet. Oh, as I say that, Watts puts in a 144.178, a very good lap by the British driver. Next cross line will be Zakharov, but of course the lap is invalidated, so it would have been a 144.4, still a very good lap by him. Light Guy is... twice actually has come across and set his lap a 146.5. He'll be looking to improve on that. Ahead of it, and Gueda goes second fastest as he comes across a 144.841. Very good lap by him, but he'll obviously be looking... Oh, Calvin Wolf goes even faster than him. A very good lap by the Canadian. Obviously a lot of improvement over the break between Season 5 and Season 6. A lot of improvement been coming from him. Now he's quite close. I mean, obviously he'll be looking to get a bit closer to Watts, but nonetheless, still an extremely good lap by him. As for our next challenger, we have Ferreira Colejo. Sorry about the mispronunciation there, sir, but I'm just gonna. Sorry, it took me a while to find you. Apologies for that. But yeah, in the Ferrari, the Brazilian driver in the Ferrari, he's currently sitting P4, 1.2 seconds back. Yeah, the spread between first and third is quite big, and then there's even bigger of a gap from third to fourth. And you got a bit of a cluster here from fourth to sixth-ish, and you have another cluster from 7th, 8th, 9th, and then from 10th down the gap is pretty big. So obviously all those drivers would be looking to improve on their laps as Zakharov goes fastest, a 143.7. Very, very good lap by him. We said he'll be looking to improve by him, but he first he invalidates his lap, and then he comes across and says, No, Fox, actually, I will be the fastest man on track at the moment. So, very good job from him, about a 10th quicker than Watts, and it's certainly very impressive lap by him. We have Watts now in second. He'll obviously be looking to claim his pole position again. 5 minutes and 41 seconds left in qualifying. Still got plenty of time for these drivers to set laps. About 2 or 3 more laps if I had to wager more for these guys. Drivers who have not set a lap is Alderid, Osterschartz, Chen, and Rodriguez all have not set a lap yet. Decker goes 11th fastest, pushing Chen down into, or excuse me, not Chen, Yao into 12th. Light Guy goes 4th fastest, a bit unnoticed there, apologies. He goes 4th fastest, pushing Calvin Wolf down. Gap between those two very close, just a few thousand, or just a few hundredths of a second, but separating those two. So hello Portis. Glad to see the race director in the chat. But yeah, not much else at the moment. Currently, oh, Watts goes 300ths away from Zakharov. Very good lap by him, but not quite enough to get that pole back. So obviously, very good lap by Zakharov. Dethroned in that lap. So we'll see what happens. He goes and gets new tires. See what he can do with those new tires. See if he can increase that gap, which is getting a little bit too close for comfort, I imagine. And we'll see what happens there. Yeah, Watts is currently pushing that Lamborghini McLaren very hard right now, trying to get that pole position back. And we'll see if he's successful. I'm willing to wager that he is going to be successful, but you never know. It's certainly not over yet for any of these drivers. Of course, some of these other drivers could come and set an even better lap. You never know. So, well, we'll see what happens here. Obviously, these drivers are putting in very good laps at 43.7. Very good, especially considering the fact a bit warmer of track conditions. Nothing too crazy, but a little bit on the warmer side of probably what some of these guys are used to running. Actually, no, probably not. Most people run around that sort of 24 to 26 margin. As Watts goes back to pole position, reclaiming that throne that he had, 400ths faster than our friend Zakharov in the Audi. Also, after this stream, or if you want to come into the chat and correct the pronunciation of your name, I'll be happy to make an effort to improve that. So apologies to anybody who I have mispronounced your name. It is not my intention or anything. It's just me kind of getting used to the different names. He's on his out lap now, but we have Gueda going third fastest, 4 tenths behind. As I say that, like guy crosses the line 2 tenths behind, and he's going to go back into third place. So currently running order is Watts, Zakharov, Light Guy, Gueda, Wolf, Santos, Ferreira, Friesen, Blanchette, Pryor, Osterschartz, Decker, Yao, Twice, Chen, Bardosetsk? Sorry if I mispronounced that. Schomburg. It's gonna be 2 J Friesenens. Well, that's quite odd. You have 2 of the same driver. That's not how that works. How can you have the 8th fastest time and 17th fastest time? We have 2 drivers the same. Let's have a look here. Let's investigate further into this. Sorry, it's taking me a while to cycle back to the names because Jason Fressinen, and then we have Justin. Okay, so I think these 2 are maybe siblings. That would be my assumption. So confused me for a second there. I was like, huh, how does that? How does 2 people have the same name? As Zakharov goes pole position by 3 tenths of a second, a flyer of a lap there. Excellent lap by him as we have 12 seconds left. So he's going to, for right now, he will be on provisional pole as Watts also pulls the car in. He has officially handed the throne over to Mr. Zakharov. A great lap. Brilliant stuff there as Light Guy will try to improve. As Wolf goes second fastest. Excellent lap by Calvin Wolf as he comes across the line to claim P2. Now we'll have a look at we have a look at Light Guy here who's rounding the corner leading up to the chicane. We're gonna ride on board with him here. Coming across that chicane quite well, taking a nice bit of curb, not getting the car too unsettled. As I come across there, ooh, it's a bit of an, compromising line, but you might have something in store for us here. So I'm not going to doubt him. I'm not going to doubt his line choices just yet. Yeah, Gueda goes second fastest. Didn't notice that. Sorry about Gueda, but yeah, Gueda goes second fastest as. Oh yeah, it looks like Light Guy is going to get held up a bit by the McLaren. The McLaren tries to get out of the way. Unfortunately, it's a bit too late for Light Guy. Unfortunate for him, he won't be able to improve on his lap, but still P5, third row of the grid, not too bad at all. You can definitely work with that a lot. As Elliott Watts goes all the way from pole to 4th place, as Calvin Wolf just absolutely puts on a tear of a lap there. Excellent lap by him. As Gueda goes second fastest, and of course the pole sitter Zakharov. And that is official. We have our running order here for the top 10. Zakharov, Gueda, Wolf, Watts, Light Guy, Osterschartz, Santos, Ferreira, Justin Friesenen, and then we have Blanchette. So good laps by everybody. As we have a night race here, just like in Split 1. We'll ride on board with the leader for the outlap here as they make their way to the start. We have a green track, 17 Celsius, a quite cold track. Obviously, drivers might be struggling a little bit for grip, especially on those opening laps where the tires are pretty cold. So we'll have to see what happens going into the first race of or excuse me, not the first race. The first race was a Spa. The first couple laps here at the Hungaroring. We got about a minute left until we start this race. Drivers will be starting to finalize their setups and getting ready to drop off those jacks and press the drive button as we come to the 30-second mark. Okay, 30 seconds. Now the drivers are able to press the drive button, which gives them control of their car for the start of the race. As we see the lights come on, obviously a very cool sight to see, just all those lights coming on in the pitch dark 1:02 a.m. here at the Hungaroring. Every car makes it through. No car teleported back to the pits. And we will get going here for the outlap of the Split 3 of Zealous Racing League Split 3 race at the Hungaroring. So race 3 here. Still a lot of points up to grab here. As the drivers then, obviously with these really cold track conditions, you need to try to heat up the tires as much as possible so that way you're not slipping and sliding all over the place during lap 1, and you're fully able to take advantage of the start and carry on. So that's going to be really important, especially like I said with these cold conditions. It's going to be really important. Also for the cars in the back, because they're obviously going to be affected more by dirty air. So, they want to get every advantage they can get to make up for that aero loss. Let's ride on board here with Zakharov as he comes to the start of the race. Yeah, hard braking, getting those brakes nice and warm. In order for that first corner, obviously the infamous first corner of sim racing. But we'll see what happens here at the Hungaroring. Hopefully nothing too bad. Hopefully nothing bad at all. But yeah, we'll have a look here. I'm gonna switch on over to the. Oh, he gets a Akrov taking a lot of curb there. He's really trying to get those tires warm. I'm going to switch over to the camera that shows us the first corner, and we'll be coming to the first corner shortly here. Actually, better plan. We're going to follow these guys as they make their journey to the start of the race. Getting ready to come to the green now. And they're off. Here we go for the split 3 race at the Hungaroring. We're going to be watching the first corner here. As they come down to the first corner, it's going to be an advantage for Guida as they come through. It seems everybody's coming through quite well. Not too much. A lot of 3 wide here as everybody seems to make it through quite well. And Zakharov will take the lead back from Guida, so only a temporary thing there for the Argentinian driver, unfortunately for him. But very fortunate for Zakharov as he takes the lead of at the Hungaroring, and he hopes that he will not relinquish it. The battle going on behind them as Calvin Wolf and Guida go and cut the chicane a little bit there. Obviously, the stewards might have something to say about that, as Watts comes through to try to take P2, but Guida obviously isn't giving it to him. But Watts is going to push him a little bit wide. I see it. Obviously, just hard racing there. I don't think. Light Guy goes around. Guida touched Light Guy, and Light Guy has spun his car. He is now going to be sitting P9. Obviously, not an ideal start for him. However, he's obviously hoping to make up for that as we come into these next couple laps. Pryor he's now making quick work of Pryor, obviously chopping his way. So we have to keep a close eye on Light Guy as he chops his way back up to the grid after that unfortunate contact with Guida. Obviously unintentional there from Guida, just a bit of close racing resulting in some contact, so I don't think that'll be worth a penalty, but we'll see. In the meantime, Elliott Watts has taken P2. He's moved up a couple of positions. Very good by the British driver, as Calvin Wolf trails him for 3rd place, Guida and then Santos. Great start by him as he moves his way up into the top 5. There's a lot of this race left to go, but an encouraging start by encouraging start by a lot of these drivers. Chen up a few places. Yao has moved himself up into P11. Light Guy obviously dropping down quite a lot, so not the most ideal start for him, but he'll be looking to make up for it here as he is starting to carve his way through here. Gaining heavily on the cars ahead as he comes through to hold his P8, and he's going to probably be taking P7 pretty soon here. And he goes around the outside. Can he make the move stick? No, not quite. He'll have to back out on that one. Oh, no, not quite. He is going to take the inside, and he's going to go for that gap. He's going to squeeze his way through. An excellent move. Very ballsy. And sorry for my language there, but yeah, obviously a very daring maneuver there by the RLR driver. Very good move. Very well timed. And he'll be going next up for the Ferrari of Ferreria. Or Ferrer. I'm sorry. I feel bad. But we have all these fine fellows making their way through this race here. Zakharov is pulled away from Watts here by about 3.3 seconds. An excellent start by him as he... Oh, yeah, that's a lot of curb he's taken there. But the Aston Martin of Calvin Wolf will be trying to hunt Elliott Watts down. Let's have a look at those two at the moment. If there's any more battles going on, and you start this race, but it does not seem that is the case. Interesting to see how Calvin Wolf gets on with Watts, if he's able to overtake him in the next laps. Obviously, he did out-qualify Watts, but it wasn't by much. So obviously, these two are going to be very closely matched. As Yao moves up into P9, very good by him. And Chen moves up position, moving in that right direction for the Chinese driver. So, your white guy is starting to close the gap slightly, I believe, on Ferraria, but it's not quite going to be enough just yet. As those guys come into view, as Santos, maybe about 3.1 seconds back, not too bad from him. But behind him is going to be the main thorn in his side at the moment is Ferraria.
Hello there, Fox. How's it going?
Oh, hello there, Keg.
Hopefully you can hear me through the broadcast. I don't know.
I think people can. Let me turn you up a little bit here.
Oh yeah. Alright, I'm here. How's it going, guys? Looks like we're having a great race so far here in this nice race. We've got green track conditions though, so that's definitely going to be putting some guys out.
For sure. I mean, green track is obviously very hard to handle, as we see by Ferraria. He's struggled a little bit there with the I don't know if that's green track or whether Ferrari just doesn't like curbs, but either way, getting a little bit, and that allows light guy to get a little bit closer as they come through for 53 minutes left in this race here.
Yeah, so still lots of times for a lot of different overtakes, and we had that one pit stop with the pit stop window to kind of shake things up.
Yeah, pit stop windows generally do tend to shake things up quite a lot. You got to plan your strategy around it. You can't just go for some extreme undercut, pit in 10 minutes into the race, and then, you know, obviously it does narrow that window, but if you get that window right, then you'll gain a lot more positions than the guy who just pits in whenever he feels like it.
Yeah, so just on board with Watts, defending from Wolf going into turn 1. Wolf is right there looking for any possible way around him, but Watts is holding them off for now.
Yeah, Watts has done a really good job. Actually, really understated just how good of a job he's done at the start. Yeah, going from P4 to P2. Very, very good drive from the British driver. Obviously, he'll be looking to build on that start, which he has been so far, holding the P2 down very well, in, you know, fending off from those repeated attacks from Wolf, who is, I believe, marginally faster.
Yep, so we have a little bit of a pack of cars here and there with a big pack in the back split off from the lead group there, but a lot of the guys are staying quite competitive and right with each other, which is nice to see. It's good to have a competitive field like this. We have 20 drivers tonight.
Yeah, 20 drivers, a pretty good turnout for this race here, as Calvin Wolf will lose a bit of time on Watts, probably from that attempted attack, as we have Yao is a bit of a battle between Yao and Blanchette. The Chinese driver trying to get past him as he tries to make his way through the grid after a not so good qualifying, and ooh, he thought about trying to get the overtake done there. He'll try to get it done on exit, and I think that he'll get it done. He does. The Chinese driver doing a very good job there. He gets side by side. He's not quite done with the move yet, but I think, yeah, he's got him now on this back straight. A good exit, because honestly, like, you'd expect that Ferrari to start closing up on the straight, considering the Porsche's straight line speed really is not the best in the world, so good on him for that overtake there. And the P8 behind.
Green guy's down 17th, is trying to make a move on 16th to get up, so gotta watch.
Yeah, he gets on twice, but I think he goes a little too wide, and twice is able to get him back on the exit of the corner, and that allows Aldred to come in and try his hand at overtaking, but he won't quite get the move done just yet. So this pack here in the back of from like 16th to 20th producing some pretty good racing.
Kevin Wolf got the pass done on Watts. He's up position into second place after the chicane section.
Very good job by Calvin Wolf. Obviously, Elliott Watts will be looking to get that position back, but I'm not sure if he's going to be able to. He'll probably have to work on that during the pit strategy, try to work his pit strategy around trying to get past Calvin Wolf, because I'm not quite sure if he has the pace to get past him. I guess we'll have to see in these coming laps.
That's getting spicy though. We got 3 or 4 battles per position on track that are looking really good. And the guys are getting feisty out there, which is nice to see.
Yeah, obviously very good for us. Sometimes not so good for the drivers though, especially if they start dooring each other off. But I haven't seen any of that in this race just yet, so I'm not going to bet on it. As Aldred continues to try to close that gap on Twice, it seems Rodriguez did get past Twice in the end, so good job by him. But as
it doesn't seem like the move is completely over, though. There's close enough there that they'll continue battling that out.
Yeah, they'll continue battling that out. As Aldred gets a little bit too much on the curve, gets a little too much over. That's gonna really hurt his chances here, especially for the back straight as they come through. To
a bit of a moment there with car 420 in turn 1. They were side by side, and now the 420's dropped back quite a bit.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to see at that as I believe Chen has moved up another place. Very good by him. And Pryor will stay in. I'm not sure where he started. I'd have to look at that again. But yeah, obviously very good racing here from these drivers.
Something's happening down with Friesen and Rodriguez there, battling it out very close.
Battling it out as the Mercedes tries to come through, but he's not going to quite get it done. He doesn't really have the room there.
It's all getting very spicy back there with that back group of cars. We got 6 or so cars all within seconds of it, half a second of each other, jockeying for position. Any little mistake is gonna change that order quite dramatically. Spicy little battles. It's nice to see as our leaders out there lapping 4 seconds ahead of
and Friesen and Rodriguez come into each other. Friesen just kind of came across.
Oh no. Rodriguez now out.
Rodriguez is not out just yet. He is going to keep going, but obviously that is going to send him to the back of the grid. He's making good progress too. It's a real shame for that one. But honestly, I have to say, like, Friesen did not give him the appropriate amount of room there, and he just kind of sent him off. So I'm pointing fingers, about to see what the stewards say, but that's just from the split second that I saw it. As Aldred, as this pack here between Twice and Friesen, it is quite close. As the Mercedes. I think he's going to get past. He will around the outside. A really good move by him. As we have as he overtakes. Oh, Twice gets spun by. I'm not sure who. I didn't catch who that was, but Twice will unfortunately be tapped there into a half spin. Thankfully for him, he will only lose 2 positions, and he'll continue to try to fight his way back through these guys.
Chen right on the having to defend from behind.
Decker here.
Driver Decker coming in.
The green Porsche.
Zone.
Very good looking livery, honestly. Same with Chen. Obviously, all these Porsche liveries look very nice, I must say.
Just want to talk about the couple guys at the lead here. Calvin Wolf and Watts are actually teammates this season, so what they kind of did was a team swap-a-roo there, letting Calvin go ahead. He had a bit of more pace, and they are slowly catching our lead driver here, a couple of tenths per lap, now that they're not squabbling for position.
Good, smart move by them, very sensible. Makes sense that they would do that. A sensible decision by the ZRL team. However, I will say it is kind of although it does make sense tactically, it is a little bit less boring to watch. You know, just letting your teammate through, but
yeah,
sometimes that's just the way racing is. As we look back to Decker and Chen, as these two battle it out for position, Decker will stay behind Chen as they come through this.
So that's for 11th position at the moment, eh? And then it's looking like Friesen and Aldred and them guys are still very close down there for the battle for 15th position, or 16th anyways. So there's a nice grouping all over the place as the leaders are kind of splitting apart now. Top 4 guys are all split out 2 seconds apart.
Yeah,
every group right behind them.
Of course, the drivers will be starting to form small packs here as we go along, as Calvin Wolf closes that gap even further on Zakharov. Unfortunately for the Ukrainian driver, obviously having a few friends in the chat. Hello there. It's not that I didn't see you. It's just that I've been watching this race. So we do see you. Thanks for coming out. And hopefully your guy takes the win. But we'll have to see here. If he can get him on strategy, that'll be even better for him. So.
Yeah, so we still have that strategy coming up. I think it's at the 40-minute mark is when pit window opens for 20 minutes.
As Light Guy is it Ike Guy? Is it Ike Guy or Light Guy? I mean, I don't mean to keep saying.
But Chen and Decker got into it turn 2. Both ended up all the way around and now back on track going in a straight line, but now that backpack is kind of caught up to those two.
Yeah, obviously they are very lucky not to have ruined their races, so that's some good luck by their part.
Yeah, they definitely haven't ruined their races, but their tires are going to be crying out here, and they have to wait for that pit window to open. You can't do it early because it won't count.
Yeah,
so.
As Chen just chops the chicane off like there is no chicane there. He's 15 seconds back on Pryor now. That's obviously not going to be very good for him, but we'll have to see if they can make up that time. So, Ike Guy goes about 4 tenths. He's 4 tenths behind. Let's watch this battle for a little bit between Santos, Ferreira, and Ike Guy. These three are obviously Ike Guy starting in P5 initially, but losing it at the start from contact with Gueda. So we'll have to see if he's able to make up those positions.
So Rodriguez still not back out on track. It's unfortunate to see. I don't know if he's got that much damage or if he's decided to park her up.
Yeah, I think he's just pulling a Fernando Alonso and taking out that lawn chair and just having a nice look at the race. Can't blame him too much. Sometimes you just gotta know when to call it a day and go fishing. So. Definitely unfortunate for him, but I'm sure he'll come back better.
Out there, having a good time on track. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. Let's hope he comes back next week for a better race. In the meantime, in contrast, Ike Guy is carving his way to the grid now, as he comes right up on the back of the Ferrari, and that allows the Aston Martin to, honestly, the Aston Martin of Santos is gonna be wanting to say, yeah, you two, go ahead and battle, go into battle. So I could start pulling out the gap here and trying to try to pull ahead as they
spicy all over the track too. So we have Chen and Decker right beside each other.
The number 14 Mercedes, he will be. Yeah, he's very close to that. McLaren of Schumber. That'll be interesting to watch here. as those two go at it. You don't see the Mercedes much anymore in competition, as it did get quite a hefty nerf a few updates ago, and it's no longer as fast as it once was. So
they're having a moment at the chicane and ended up spinning off.
who?
He's now down to 19th position. Car number 3, the McLaren. Was battling out there with Twice and Friesen and ended up spinning around. Oh, as we had a major incident with Ike Guy in turn 1 with the 99 car. Ike Guy still not back, losing 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm going to actually watch the replay for that one.
Yeah.
And we're going to cut to the replay. Sorry for the small delay. I thought my game just crashed there. Thankfully, it did not.
I think, yeah, it takes a while to do that. As we have 2 drivers into the pit lane to start with Friesen and Schomburg in there. A couple more guys now joining as well.
Yep, a lot of guys coming into the pit lane trying to go for that undercut. As we see, oh! And it seems the Ike Guy just was caught off guard by the Ferraris. It seemed apex speed was just a little bit too low, and Ike Guy just seemed to misjudge it. So yeah, that is going to probably be on Ike Guy for, misjudging that. But obviously mistakes happen, and he got off worse by a long shot. So the Ferrari is able to continue as far as I'm aware, but Ike Guy is going to be back to square one. Definitely not what he wanted here in P9. He'll probably be coming in and getting rid of that damage, just, having a nice fresh start and seeing if he can go back and try to get those positions back that he lost. As Chen and Decker keep going at it, these two just all race long have just been completely jostling for position. It'll be interesting to see how they do during the whole race, or when they come in. They'll probably be coming in at pretty similar times. Both have the same ideas, right? As Guy, as I said before, is coming in for that new, fresh start. Yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be especially interesting to see a lot of these guys who are battling, like how they approach the pit strategy. As Calvin Wolf has closed the gap to 1.2 seconds on.
He's really charging.
Yeah, he's really charging. And it'll be interesting. I'll be interested to see how his tires are coping with that pushing that he's been doing. But so far, it seems to be whatever he's doing has been working quite well. So.
Yeah, so it's up to him to figure out, so is he going to pit and get it done early, or is he going to keep lapping because he's that close and build that gap to hopefully reduce the damage once he does pit?
Yeah, for sure. Within a second now, Calvin Wolf is. The problem is he can catch up to him all he wants, but he not only will have to contend with the dirty air from the Audi, he'll also have to contend with trying to overtake on what is an extremely narrow track.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only thing I could imagine that really, even if the tires are warm or wearing, at this cold track conditions, if you have your tires up to temperature and they're within that window and staying in operating temperature, I fear if you go to pit, you're going to have to, reheat up a new set of tires and get them back into that window. It might be kind of annoying for the first couple laps.
For sure.
Reduce your pace, right?
For sure, and that'll be interesting to see, because on one hand, the undercut, I'm not sure how powerful the undercut is on this track, simply because of how much the tire pressures make a difference on this track. Make up to about a second or so. It's just getting those tires in the right range, so it might not be worth it to come in. Maybe better to just overcut, but at the same time, everybody's got to warm up those tires, so that it might be down to whoever can warm their tires up the fastest on the outlaps.
As Pryor and the 99 Ferrari are really battling it out here. We've got another car another couple guys getting those pit stops done. So Derek in the pit lane and the number 14 Mercedes in the pit lane as well.
Yeah, as our race director Kenneth Portis has told us, last lap Wolf was over half a second faster. So Wolf is really on a charge here today.
Yeah.
The track is also starting to warm up, going from a green to a fast state, as Zakharov will come in. He's coming in. This will be interesting to see. He's coming in.
That lap times down now. Really extend that for 15 minutes here left in the pit window.
Yeah, he's going to want to try. Wolf is going to put on some absolute quality laps. He's going to need to if he expects to take the lead of the race from our longtime race leader here, Zakharov. But they were side by side as Zakharov just opted to come into the pit lane. So it'll be really just down to whoever can warm up those tires faster and whoever can also have a better pit. You know, obviously coming in, getting into the pit stall perfectly, and then having a good pit exit and pit entry. So a lot of stuff that we don't normally think about when we race here that are going to be coming into play here as we in these next couple laps.
Yeah, definitely, and then having to watch out for the speeding pit lane penalties or anything like that.
Yeah, that'll be...
track limits might come into play, too, near the end of the race here, as I know a lot of guys like to push this track, and you can easily get a lot of warnings.
Yeah, this track is really...
out of the pit lane now, and back into turn 1, just ahead of 75.
75.
Coming into the last sector now. Last couple corners.
So Calvin Wolf takes the lead. Let's see if he comes into the pit lane. I'll be interested to see if he will come in or whether he will continue. Obviously, his pace does show that he is perfectly capable of putting in some very, very good laps. So I'm not sure if it will really be worth it for him to come into the pit lane just yet, or whether it would be better just to stay out and run the tires until they go, or until the pit lane.
Yeah, now he's staying out at the moment, and we got 13 minutes to go here in the pit window, and the track has gone up to fast, so a bit more grip on there. It's almost coming up to a back marker.
Yep, that is a back marker, I believe so. As back marker makes it nice and easy for him. Good, you know. Honestly, we obviously look at these leaders, but it's not easy being a back marker all the time. You know, it does take a lot to know when to let the leader through without losing too much. You know, without sacrificing your own race too much, and that does take more. How should we say? Timing and. As Decker comes with a drive-through, unfortunately for him, that's going to really hurt his race.
Chen and Pryor are battling it out. Chen in the pit lane?
Chen, yes, he is in the pit lane here. As Zakharov does move up into P8, he'll be really looking to push as he, on his outlap, set a 2:44.7. Obviously, he did come into the pits, so... that does make sense for him. He is currently, Zakharov, currently P8, ahead of all the other drivers who have currently pitted, and 4 drivers who have not pitted yet, or 3, because Rodriguez has been in the pits for the past few laps.
Unfortunately, Rodriguez just...
yeah, for sure. It's very...
watching and maybe chatting with teammates, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he'll be looking to see what went wrong there and how he can improve it for next year.
His last lap was a 1:45.279.
Goita comes into the pit lane now.
I think his tires are starting to go right. I'm not sure what his pace was earlier, but
what was his last lap?
1:45.2.
Yeah, that's around where he was running before. For context, Zakharov, excuse me. Best lap is a 1:45.7. So, actually, a 1:45.2. That is Calvin Wolf's fastest lap. So over half a second faster, fastest lap. So those tires obviously still have a lot of life left in them. But he is going to have to come into the pits eventually, simply because of that pit window. So he'll be looking to do so pretty soon here. I imagine within the next 2 or 3 laps. Another news, there isn't too many battles going on at the moment, but Twice and Twice and Schomburg are currently going at it. About half a second separate those two.
Yep.
As more cars are coming into the pits to get done with that stop. And yeah, that's all for right now.
30 minutes remaining in this race. We're through the halfway part of the race here. 10 minutes to go in the pit window.
Yep. Fox's mid-race report. Currently, we have Calvin Wolf as the leader. It'll be interesting to see where he comes out when he comes in as Rodriguez leaves the server. Unfortunate for him. Unfortunate race for him today. Hopefully he can come back next week and have a better one. Regardless, we've had a couple of incidents. As our race director, Kenneth Portis, has just informed me that Zakharov is currently the fastest on new tires. So, very quick by the Ukrainian driver as he tries to make up that gap to Calvin Wolf and make sure he comes out on top on pit strategy. 145.1 by him. Very good lap. He's on an absolute flyer here.
Those tires are just coming off, or he's found pace here with the new set.
Yeah, he might have readjusted the tire pressures and got those in a better range. As Yao comes in, currently sitting P5, but he'll unfortunately drop back down. I think it is a little bit too late. That's going to be a factor, especially for Calvin Wolf. It is really late to come in right now, so I'll be interested to see if...
Yeah, we have Watts still lapping around behind Calvin, too. Still haven't pitted 5 seconds behind.
Yeah, 8 minutes left into the pit window, 28 minutes left in the race. And so...
Al's going to have to come to the pit lane now. No, he's still electing to stay out on track, which I'm quite surprised because I don't think he's gaining anymore.
Yeah, usually Calvin Wolf is more of an early pitter as far as I've seen in his racing. Usually he comes into the pits quite early, and as Yao...
Of recent months, yes, he comes in quite early, but in his beginning days, or last year anyways, he liked to push as long as he could, which never always kind of turned out into his favor, as we see right now. Like, I'm not sure if pushing and continuing going around.
Yeah,
is a smart idea.
He's going back to his roots here in this race. As Elliott Watts comes in, be interesting to see how that turns out for him. As we have a yellow somewhere, not sure. Where is it? Where's the yellow?
Right, just going before in the pit lane, coming through the last corner now.
Green flag again. Somebody might have had.
He's back and seems to be going down in
close.
Position.
This is going to be close between Watts and Zakharov, and it does seem, yes, Zakharov does indeed get the jump on Elliott Watts as he comes tearing down that pit straight. Audi's amazing sounding car here.
Out now and back onto track, but has two guys in front of him.
Yeah. So Elliott Watts. So it'll be interesting to see what Calvin Wolf does here. If he is able to keep on to that P1 position.
Yeah, Wolf coming in the pit lane now with 6 minutes and 30 to go in the pit window. 26.5 minutes to go here in the race.
Yep, Calvin Wolf is in the pits now. Good pit entry, got that pit limiter on, and yeah, he's coming in now. So this is going to be the moment to watch here, folks, as we see Zakharov. He's rounding the S's here, the left-right chicane.
Into his pit stall now. Stop.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to be enough for Calvin Wolf. I think Zakharov does have him beat here. I don't think he was quite fast enough to stay out as Zakharov enters the final two corners here.
He's got to sit there for that full 20 or 30 seconds to get the tire swap. Even if you did refuel or did not refuel, it does not matter because you still have to sit there.
Yep, and Zakharov will take back the lead, and he'll take it back and take a big lead because Calvin Wolf is still in his pit stall as Zakharov...
Moving now, it's going to be very close.
Oh, Calvin Wolf is exiting the pits, and Zakharov will take the lead as they come into the first corner. That was a really close one there.
Very close, yeah, very close. If he had
which means that
a couple tenths quicker a lap, could have made it happen.
Yeah, he was just a few tenths faster. Zakharov just having that slight edge that gave him the position here.
Yeah, so I don't know if he went into pit lane 1 or 2 laps earlier, if that would have worked here.
Yeah, I think maybe Wolf just misjudged that slightly, but he's still only 1.1 seconds back on Zakharov, so we'll have to see what comes of this in the coming laps here. He's right behind him, but he's also got to warm up those tires. But once he gets those tires warmed, he'll be certainly looking to be able...
Having another issue with turn 1 again.
Who?
99 and him, Ike guy, getting into it. For a second time in this race, into turn 1.
Yeah, obviously not a good race for him today. I mean, it's the second time that car number 99 and that guy have gone into each other, so they might not be too big of fans of each other when they come out of this race. We'll have to see, as Yao is ahead of those two in P6. He'll be like, I'll take that. So it does appear that race director Portis has told us that on the lap where Wolf pit in, he lost 8 tenths to Zakharov, which is probably what cost him his lead. So unfortunately,
one too many laps.
Yep, he did one too many. Those tires did not appreciate that, and it was reflected in the lap time. So
Got Wolf dealing with the blue flag at the moment, but the blue flag is going to let him through here in turn 2.
Yeah, so not too much trouble.
Hold up, but not too much.
Yeah, not too much trouble for him, but it will mess up his line slightly into the left-hander as they come into the fast left-hander here. Obviously a really awesome corner, as we'll give a lap guide here next lap.
Wide and get that penalty track limit warning.
Yeah, obviously it's really easy to get track cut warnings on this track. Kuno's made it really strict. I mean, before in the beta version of the game, actually the track limits on Hungaroring were like extremely lax. You could go really wide on the corner and gain a ton of time. But you know, obviously they tightened them up, and now it's really easy to get those track limit violations. Really easy for those to pile up really quickly. So obviously drivers have to really watch how much curb they take, how wide they go into the corners and such, because if you get too many of those, you'll get a drive-through, and that really hurts you. Maybe not as much as, say, Spa, but it really does hurt.
So even with Elliott Watt being so much further back, he's starting to come into play here. You can see him on track of Wolf, and the next couple corners you'll be able to see him in the rear view.
Yeah, 3.2.
Not out of play completely for this podium. For sure he has a podium, but which one will he get?
Yeah, which place will he be receiving here as we have the Fox lap guide? They come into the first corner, you need to brake hard, get that car turned in. Don't use too much of that exit curb, because you obviously want to have a short run to the left, the fast left-hander here. You want to take more of a double apex here, get the car nice and pointed to the left in order to line yourself up for that fast right-hander. A corner is really important because you need to gain as much speed for the subsequent fast left-hander, and then you want to use a little bit of that curb on entry, and then smash that curb coming in, and then we need to come into the fast right, not so much fast, but it's like a medium speed right-hander. Use all that curb on exit. Be careful of the curb, and then we have the infamous chicane. You want to use a bit of curb so that way, to cut off those couple of tenths of a second, but using too much curb will unsettle the car as we come to the S's. It's really important to get a good line here, as not getting a good line will cost you a lot of time. Flat left-hander into the slower right-hander. Use as much curb as the game will allow you to take. That is really important for gaining time. And then we have really tricky right-hander here. It's a bit of a lower speed one, but if you use too much curb, the car will slide out, and that will obviously lose you a lot of time. A lot of these the biggest challenge of Hungaroring is honestly the curbs, because you want to use them to gain as much time, but using too much will cause your car to slide out. So it's obviously it's very much so a balancing act, especially in GT3 cars. Formula 1 is not such a big factor because of how much downforce the cars make, but obviously it is more of a factor in GT3. As Calvin Wolf in our lap guide here sets the fastest lap of the race, a 1:44.6.
Yeah, and I feel like you could have had even more time there. So the last corner, the exit curb on the left hand, you can use a lot more of it than these guys are using tonight. A lot of the guys are staying on the inside of the line on the tarmac, but they can actually carry a lot more speed out wide.
Yeah, that might have something to do with the track conditions. You know, obviously not being able to use maybe as much of the tire grip as they would have liked. As I say, he set the fastest lap. It turns out Elliott Watts set a lap just a couple of tenths faster, 44.5. Still these guys are lapping extremely quick.
Yeah, Watts is really on pace here to get back up on this.
Yeah, I would be surprised if they don't swap positions here within the next coming laps. Try to catch and track down Zakharov. But Zakharov is really doing well to handle the pressure from Calvin Wolf as they come through for another lap. They're on lap 22 here.
Now they're coming into traffic.
Yeah, this is about the point in the race, around 20 minutes left, where you got that traffic to contend with. And
I think it was Lewis Hamilton that was saying last week at Zandvoort, Max was like Moses, and we'll see which of these top drivers is like Moses, getting through and and spreading out the lap cars ahead of them.
Yeah, as Zakharov goes through, a bit of an aggressive overtake on the Mercedes driver, as Calvin Wolf dives around the outside. I don't know if that was really worth it. Yeah, he'll probably be losing a lot of time by not hitting that apex, but in the same vein, he will also be getting around him faster and will have less. He won't have him to contend with for these couple corners. Zakharov, he goes wide. Or sorry, excuse me, he doesn't go wide. He gets a bit of oversteer there into that corner. You can tell the tires are not really liking it.
Yeah, so Calvin Wolf is gaining a lot more.
Calvin Wolf is gaining a lot on Zakharov in these couple of corners here. This will be really interesting to watch as they come through. Elliott Watts is also gaining a lot of time, 3.165 seconds to Calvin Wolf, as Wolf is just on an absolute charge here. Zakharov, he's starting to fall off, but can he regain his composure and start building that gap back up? I honestly would wager so, considering last time around where he...
It's just challenging with this lap traffic, so lap traffic getting out there twice, doing a good job there.
Yeah, twice doing a great job of getting out of the way of these guys, as Watts has quite literally started to come into the picture here. He's 2.8 seconds back, and you can see him on the screen there, that McLaren in the foreground, as they come through to entering the final corner of the 23rd lap. We'll have Calvin Wolf 6/10 back on Zakharov. He's really gaining time. Wolf is really as Keg said, you know, a bit of parting the Red Sea here. He's parting the sea of lapped cars as they come through to sorry, I was reading the chat. As they come through these lapped cars.
So it looks like Elliott Watt not getting as much of a favor from the back guys as the two leaders, but he's still there in the picture, under 3 seconds. Calvin Wolf trying to get under half a second. Zakharov.
Yeah, he's trying to get under half a second.
He has a lot more speed through this section than Zakharov does.
Yeah, he's getting a lot. He's getting a lot of speed. But obviously, Watts will be frustrated with not being able to kind of get through those cars as quickly as he would like it to be. But at the same time, that's ultimately just part of racing, and sometimes we have to accept that. Gueda is P4. We haven't talked much about him, but yeah, he's done a very good job this whole race. As Wolf, we get a drive-through from Decker. I believe he was our drive-through man earlier, so that's a second drive-through from him. Obviously struggling a bit with those track limits.
He's trying to let drivers through as well, but yeah, just taking too much track.
Taking too much track. I mean, it happens to the best of us for sure, so nothing too much to be ashamed of, but an unfortunate thing for his race. That will be the biggest factor for him. As Calvin Wolf is right on the tail of Zakharov. He come through. 3/10, and he dives, and he's going to dive around the outside. No, not quite. He doesn't quite have the momentum there. Can he get him back on the inside? No, not quite. He'll have to force a mistake out of Zakharov, I feel, unless he can manage to get by him. Oh, they touch! Zakharov is around!
Zakharov letting other drivers through. Oh, Calvin Wolf is getting a penalty for that one.
Yeah, that's really naughty on Calvin Wolf there, unfortunately. I mean, he just misjudged. He got really, antsy with that overtake. He really needed to get by, and now that's going to allow Watts to close up as well. Watts might take the win here.
For a win now, yeah. Zakharov is not completely out. His tires are going to be heated up, but he is only down 2 positions.
He's only down a couple of positions, but as we saw earlier, Wolf did have that pace advantage compared to him. So ZRL leads 1-2, but it isn't quite the 1-2 they were hoping for, as a bit of a dirty 1-2, if you will.
Yeah, at the moment, not looking so great for Calvin Wolf. You're going to get that penalty.
Yeah, probably a 5-10 second penalty, but regardless of that, Watts, who's driven on a much more clean note, he's going to be 6/10 back on Wolf as those two battled out. Hopefully, at least for Zakharov, they can battle it out and Zakharov can catch back up. So we'll have to see.
Watts having a little bit of a moment there coming into the last corner, so he was a lot closer to Calvin, but had a little bit of the rear end step out, lost some traction.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that replay here between Wolf and Zakharov. We're going to look at that one more time here. Very...
one of those moments where Calvin got hooked on the rear bumper and sent him spinning and couldn't really get out of it.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Zakharov. Really, not the way that he wanted this race to go. And I really can't blame him either. I mean, that was... pretty, as Mr. Calvin Wolf likes to remind me, a pretty crash there between those two.
Yeah,
so right on.
Zakharov can regain his composure.
So riding on
laps and hopefully gain a position from the penalty that will be coming Calvin's way most likely.
Yeah, riding on board here in the replay here with Zakharov, you can see that he brakes at pretty much a normal point, but I think Calvin Wolf just got way too far on the brakes there trying to overtake, and he just sent himself into the back of Zakharov.
So
yeah, that is a bit.
The car into the pit lane after having a terrible couple laps, and now he's disconnected from the server. So you hate to see it. And that Porsche just lit those tires up, and there was nothing he could do to get back onto the track safely and continue doing laps with them overheated like that.
Unfortunate for him.
Frustration boiling over probably there.
Yeah, obviously, I really can't blame him there. Hungaroring, very frustrating track, especially, when things don't go your way. It's really easy to continue making those mistakes after you've made one.
Calvin Wolf's last lap was a 144.7. Wonder what Zakharov is doing at the moment.
Yeah, let's have a look here at what Zakharov is currently doing. Currently did a 145.6, so I think, yeah, it isn't going to help him the fact that Audi's very, very dependent on that rear downforce, that rear diffuser. That is going to be damaged, unfortunately. So obviously his lap times are going to suffer as a result. But still, nonetheless, I mean, as unfortunate and as much as it sucks to lose that, he's still on the podium, which is really, a good job, everything considered.
Yeah, so I just wanted to talk about like who you think our driver of the day could be. I know Elliott Watts is on for a good one as he gained so many positions on the first lap and now is back up and looking to hunt down to get a win here. But I think Pryor was doing a good job battling it out down in 10th position at the moment. Chen has done a decent job as well. Twice was having some good content and some fun on track as well. It looks like kind of most of our battles have kind of died out a bit here other than our leaders here. It doesn't look like anyone else is really close enough to be battling for position here.
Yep, for sure. Our race director, Kenneth Portis, has told us to stop focusing so much on these lead guys and have more of a look at the midfield guys. So, yeah, obviously we've been focusing a lot on those top guys, the ones that have been battling. But, of course, everybody here at Zero we appreciate every single one of these drivers who, come out and make it possible, So, really big thanks to those guys. Thanks to their teams. Thanks to the drivers. And thanks to all the work that they put in to make this a good show. So, we'll give a rundown here, showing each one of these drivers. Bit of a... I'm sorry for not showing you guys as much. Calvin Wolf.
It's tricky. That's the trick of broadcasting, trying to cover everyone, and you want to keep it entertaining, but also showcase drivers. So.
Yep. Calvin Wolf currently leading the race. Elliott Watts, and then we have Zakharov, Gueda. Sorry, Santos. Obviously, that is a very nice livery, honestly. The Brazilian flag colors there. It looks very nice. I really much so like that livery. Then we have my friend Yao here, fellow Ace Combat buddy. If you know, you know. But yeah, Yao doing an actually really, really good job. He qualified like down in P12, so obviously wasn't an ideal qualifying for him, but he's made all the way up to P6. Some really good points on the table for him, and just an overall really good result. So really good job by him. As our guy who has not had, on contrast, has not such a good race. Started P5, currently sitting P7. Was charging his way up to the grid after that first corner, or sorry, not the first corner, but the first lap collision. But obviously having a few crashes, and that's obviously not going to help him, not only with the penalties, but also with the result on track.
Yeah, I'm surprised that guy's still able to be running that good with the couple spins he did, lighting the tires up.
Yep. Ferreira, sorry if I say your name wrong. But yeah, Ferreira Caleo, he is number 99 Ferrari. He's done a good race. He's been subject to a few crashes with that guy. Those two kind of getting into each other a bit. But, close racing, sometimes contact happens. And he's done a very good job for this race so far. P8, a very good top 10 for him.
Yeah, well done here. 7 minutes to go in our I was
we're not done yet.
But 2 a.m. track.
Our 2 a.m. track here.
At Hungaroring. Not a lot of light, so it's very atmospheric in the cockpit of the car.
We have Blanchette, Ryan Blanchette, currently sitting P9, top 10 for him. Not much, he hasn't been in too much trouble either with battling or with, as far as I could tell, with battling. He's just kind of stayed on his own, which at the end of the day, staying out of trouble, that's really important for racing. So good job by him. As we have Pryor, he's done a good job as well. As we mentioned earlier, good candidate for a driver of the day. Overall, just not much to say other than just a really good race for him. Chen making up a lot of positions from the start. He started quite a way back, but he's charged his way back up to the grid. Currently sitting P11, just outside the top 10. I'll be interested to see if he can close that gap and gain into the top 10. But I think it's a little too late, with 5 minutes to go.
Yeah. 2 a.m. here. Oh, we've had a car 74 freezing after the chicane, or the S section, spinning out. At 17th place at the moment, not having a lot of fun left, but he's still sticking her out and gaining some positions from the guys that were unfortunate to retire from the race.
Yep, so obviously you can't say too much against that. Just doing what he can to try to get as many as positions as he can. Oscar Schartz, the Polish driver, he was part of that 4-driver train for a long time, and it seems that he's come out on top of it. So great job by him, doing some good racing back there. Aldred had a bit more of a quiet race, but he has been in actually quite a few battles, especially towards the beginning of the race, you know, around the 40-minute mark. He was in quite a lot of battles and has done a good job through this race. Currently sits P13.
Yeah, and just mentioning that Gueda, and so for 3rd position, battling it out now for the remaining couple laps here, are close to each other, under a second. Just be under half a second here going through the last corner. Coming on to the start straight. We'll see what happens into the first corner.
Yep. Twice, Mr. Jimmy Twice, he obviously had a few, I believe, incidents earlier in the race, but he stuck it out. Currently he's P14. Good job by him. He's had some good battles as well, I should mention. Friesen, as both Friesen brothers, not such a good race, but overall, important that they, that they stick around and that they finish the race, still getting some points for sticking around, which is really good to see. So good job by those guys.
It's
then we
quite interesting to see 12th position to 17th are all McLarens at the moment, with our lead McLaren Watts up in the second, gunning for a win here today. Even if he stays behind Calvin Wolf on track, most likely he'll be promoted up to P1.
Yeah, at the current rate of the way the race is going, unless Calvin Wolf can pull out a large gap suddenly or Watts makes a big mistake, looks like Calvin Wolf has got this one in the bag. Schomburg in the McLaren, he is currently sitting P16, separating the Friesen brothers. Was part of that train of McLarens early in the race that we mentioned before. He's done a good job to stick around. Modest race, so nothing bad to say on his part. As we look back to our battle between Gueda and Zakharov, that has gotten significantly wider, 2.6 now. Did they get into each other?
I think they might have been rubbing and bumping a little bit there, and yeah, Gueda's lost out quite a bit of time to him now, and a gap has formed.
Yeah, we'll have to check that we'll have to see after the race if anything happened or whether it was just a mistake by Gueda or something of that sort. In the meantime, we will have, this is pretty much, we got about 2 laps left here in the race.
The race has kind of quieted down in terms of battle on track and even position-wise, as everyone's kind of all over at the moment. Not a lot of guys are close to each other or having the car ahead of them be in position ahead. There should be final lap coming up now. Calvin Wolf starting that one in a moment. He's getting by Chen going down into the heavy braking zone. And coming into the couple quite tight corners here that you kind of use at least for this first one, kind of a V pattern or follow the white line there. Coming into exit. Holding a good line around the final corner, carrying as much speed and going out as wide as possible onto the curb. Here's Calvin Wolf now.
Leaders on final lap now.
And we get the confirmation that it is final lap.
Watts is right there, and all Watts has to do now is just get a clean lap in here, not spin, and stay within 5 seconds of Calvin Wolf, and he'll be on to a win here at the Hungaroring at 2:05 a.m.
Yep. Do me a favor, Keg, and check your DMs real quick. I DM'd you something.
Okay.
But in the meantime, we have 15 seconds left. This will be the final lap of the race, as the engineer called out. So Wolf will take the win on track, but we'll have to see what the stewards say. I imagine it probably will not be good for Wolf, but he can still take pride in the fact that he did take the win on track, even if it was with a collision, as it does look like Gueda will be sitting in P. Will not be getting that podium place that he was probably hoping for. And as we round the final corner, Calvin Wolf will take the win here at the Hungaroring. A good drive by him. You know, obviously that collision will be the highlight, but at the same time, it still was a very good drive with extremely good pace. So, 1-2 for the ZRL team. Very good job by those guys, as Zakharov will unfortunately come home to finish P3. Still on the podium, though. Still on the podium. So very good job by him to hold off Gueda and hold on to that podium. So excellent drive by all these guys. And now we will go on to the interviews, hopefully. First interview we will have was with our winner, Calvin Wolf. All right, so I guess
we only can grab Calvin Wolf here. I'm not sure if the other guys there would like to do an interview, so we will try for next stream. But Calvin Wolf, if you're there, I'm not sure if you can get to your mic there.
Yep. I guess we'll ask you about 5 questions. I'll ask you about 5 questions. We'll do an experiment here. So obviously, congratulations on the win today, on track at least. But you tell us more about the incident between you and Zakharov in turn 2.
Yeah, I kind of just went too deep and I lost all the traction on the front end. It just kept getting closer and closer, and I just bumped him.
Yep, happens.
I do apologize to him for that.
Yep, it happens. Certainly,
green light. Go,
it's part of racing. In the meantime, so I saw that your pace was, getting a lot faster as the race went on. Did you have a tire pressure adjustment during the pit stop, or what happened there?
Actually, during my first stint, I realized I wasn't going to have enough fuel to finish, so I had to go to a different engine mode. And then after my pit stop, I switched back to engine 1. So that's probably why I was faster.
Okay, so, I mean, obviously, that does make quite a big difference, with the engine modes in these cars.
Oh, yes.
So I guess the final question is, I saw Elliot Watts was closing. You think that was because of the damage to your car, or is he just faster on that final couple laps?
I think it was just faster. He does usually have a quicker pace than me.
Yeah.
I just wanted to keep him in the slipstream at least so we can pull away.
Right. Obviously playing the team game there, pretty good move there. Just letting him sit in the slipstream. Try to pull as far away from the other guys as you can. So, obviously, congratulations on the win here tonight.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see what the stewards have to say about that incident. But until then, you are the winner of the Hungaroring Split 3 Hungaroring. So congratulations.
Well, thank you, guys.
Today.
Now I'm gonna wait and see what the stewards have to say.
Yep, I guess that's
All
all we
right.
can do.
All right, good racing there, bud, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, guys.
See ya. Have a good one.
All right, guys. Well, this is from Keg. Thanks for watching, and thanks to Fox for such a great broadcast and camera work.
Thank you. Thank you guys for showing up and watching the race. We really appreciate everybody who watches these things. It does take a lot more effort than you'd think to go through and keep up with all the battles at once and kind of balance the leaders with the more midfield guys. So
Yeah, so if you did enjoy tonight, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Check out the other videos on the YouTube channel here. We got lots of great edited content. And of course, if you're on the Discord of ZRL, check out Advanced Sim Racing, as we have a code you can use to get a bit of a discount if you're trying to buy some sim rig equipment or add-ons, as well as thanks to SimGrid for helping us with the organization entry list and all of our standings and whatnot for the championship. So we'll catch you guys next race. Thanks very much.
catch you guys next race. See you guys.